Hello, everyone. I'm Dijon, and
Not my era.
welcome to the MUSAAAAAARD, the podcast about the art of storytelling and how it's used across different mediums. Make sure that you like, comment, and subscribe if you want to see our channel grow, and to click the notification bell so that you're notified when we post. As always, free Palestine. Um, so, what media have you been interacting with lately?
I've been playing a lot of Terraria lately. I've gotten back into it for some reason, so I'm like, let's play a bunch. And so I've been playing a bunch. Not really like anything special. Like it's unmodded vanilla. I've just been enjoying it a lot. I kind of missed it. Still doing my survival mode run through of Signalis, but it's been kicking my behind. Still really difficult, but I'm enjoying it. Trying to take my time and go through it. Me and my girlfriend got to Ike Island in Ghost of Tsushima, and it's something. It kind of parts of it are kind of like killing the momentum of the story, but I enjoy what they were trying to do with it, so it's pretty neat. And
Oh, yeah, I didn't
then,
take in consideration that, yeah, you can go to Iki Island before you beat the game, because, of course,
mhm,
I played the entirety of the game before that DLC came out, so I didn't play Iki
right,
Island in the middle of the story. I played the story, then played Iki Island.
right. And I feel like if we would have done it that way, it probably would have been a lot better. But it like we were in the area and like there was a quest that led to it, so we were like, why not? So that was it's going. We're not off yet, but we're working on it. And then I haven't really been watching much TV, but I do have something on my docket. The movie for Mononoke is coming to Netflix on Thursday, so that's in my watch list. I'm excited to see that finally. I didn't think they were going to bring it to America at all, so I'm pleased.
Yeah, I saw that when I was on Netflix earlier. What is
Mhm.
Mononoke?
It's an anime that's like I don't know how to describe it because it's really strange, but the whole like bit of it is that there's this medicine seller who goes around like solving people's issues with yokai and like taking care of them because nobody else can see them, said yokai. And it's really weird. It's very colorful and like the animation style is very unconventional, but I really like it. It's really it's a fun watch. Like the plot is very non-existent. Like there really isn't one. It's kind of a monster of the week kind of thing, but it's gorgeous to watch and it's fun to watch because of the way that the said medicine seller like interacts with the rest of the cast. It's fun. I like it.
Cool. That's it.
Yep, that's it.
Well, for me, I started playing Metroid Zero Mission.
Ooh,
And it's fun so far. I haven't gotten super deep into it yet. I'm only at like the second save point, but I can tell I'm gonna really like it.
nice.
Dune Prophecy started airing
Mm.
last Sunday. It's a show set 10,000 years before the first Dune movie, not the very first one, but the most recent first one. And
Gotcha.
it focuses on the origins of the Bene Gesserit. So
Mm,
very interesting so far. Um,
sounds interesting.
the Sex Lives of College Girls is finally back on HBO after 2 years. It's been so long. There's so much
Oh
time in
wow.
between shows nowadays. I forget what happens sometimes. But
Right.
yeah, premiere was cool. Nothing particularly funny or dramatic happened. But I
Mm.
like the show a lot. The first two seasons, but it's been a while. I gotta
Yeah.
get back into it. Kind of remember what I like about it. Because I don't know if I like what's different. It's been 2 years, and I'm noticing some of the writing, and I'm just like, this is a little weird. But
Yeah.
I'm hoping I'll get back into it because I don't want to dislike the show. Um,
Right.
in terms of games, other games, I mean, I finished Black Ops 6. I think I'll talk a little bit.
Nice.
Nah, yeah, I think I'll talk about that later. I also finished Resident Evil 7. Um, so now I'm just focusing on beating Persona 3 before the year's up, and I know I can do it because
You could do it.
I
I believe in
supposedly
you.
have like 10 hours left. So if I were to play like an
Mm.
hour a day, I'd be able to, even if I played only like 30 minutes a day, I'd be able to make some progress. But then I don't know if that takes in consideration how much time I'll spend in Tartarus. But maybe it
Yeah.
does.
I
Um,
think it probably does.
so that,
It
yeah.
really depends on like how far in Tartarus you are, methinks.
But yeah, I have like 10 hours left. So like I can get it done, especially since I'm going to be focusing on it. exclusively until
Right.
I finish it, because I did that with Black Ops and Resident Evil 7. Though I'll talk about those later, especially Black Ops. In
Mm.
terms of animated shows, I finished up my only God knows how what number watch through Spectacular Spider-Man. I was watching alongside Blind Wave on a Blu-ray that I have. Yeah, great show. I hope that this is one of those shows that can come back for a third season, because this show deserves
Yeah.
more. Still watching Avengers: Earth's Mightiest Heroes alongside Blind Wave as well as Superman the Anime Series. Uh,
Nice.
Ranma, still good, still funny, still a great
Mhm.
show. Definitely,
Mhm.
if you've never seen Ranma, this is definitely the best way to watch it.
Ooh.
And yeah, I think that's all I have. Moving on to animation, Invincible Fight Girl is so good. The fight
Ooh.
animation in episode 4 was incredible, and you've got to check this show out. Just as a reminder, it is made by Black people, starring Black
Mhm.
people, and we've got to support stuff like this. We want more. The show
Right.
continues to wear its anime influence on its sleeves with some more Dragon Ball Z sound effects and a lot of just
Mhm.
very classic anime tropes in the storytelling. That's really fun. It's just a real easy watch, and it's a good time.
It's good.
We got a trailer for What F season 3. I believe I sent that to you.
I think so. Yeah.
And just to go over some of the confirmed episodes before I kind of just talk about how I feel about the show overall. So according to Wikipedia, there's a Red Guardian and Bucky Barnes centered episode, an anime
Mhm.
inspired episode featuring the Avengers piloting mechs to fight a horde of Mega Hulk monsters titled Go
Wow.
Avengers Heroes of the Gamma War, which features Sam Wilson, Captain America, Black Widow, Red Guardian, Shang-Chi, Monica Rambeau, Moon Knight, Shuri, and Melina Vostokov, which I think that's Black Widow's mother.
Hmm.
And there's an episode featuring Agatha Harkness with a musical number. There's an episode featuring a
Mm.
team up between Shang-Chi and Kate Bishop in a Western themed setting. And we will also be finally seeing a continuation of the White Vision storyline from WandaVision, which was WandaVision
Ooh.
was the first MCU Disney Plus show back in 2021, and they have not done anything with that storyline. And the fact that
Mm.
it's finally showing up in What If is wild. Um,
For sure.
and we'll be getting our introduction of Storm to the MCU
Oh.
as the goddess of thunder wielding Mjolnir, Thor's hammer, and she'll be voiced by
Hmm.
Allison Seeley Smith, who voices her in X Men, the anime series in X Men '97. This is a very weird
Interesting.
way to introduce Storm to the MCU, but
Very,
cool, I
for
guess.
sure. Yeah.
But this will be the final season, and
Oh.
that's so disappointing to hear, because this show is the definition of wasted opportunity. Um,
For
a
sure.
show like this shouldn't have an end. As long as there are Marvel movies, there should be what if scenarios to play with. The whole concept
Right.
of what if is to take moments from, well, the comic book version at the very least is to take famous moments in the comics and make interesting changes to it to see what would happen.
Mm.
To see what if. And
Right.
the 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 moments that they pick and the changes that they've made have all been like the most boring possible ones. And
Mm.
if you were to spend 1 minute in some type of MCU forum, you'd find over a dozen better what if scenarios for the show. Um,
Right.
to me,
Like, it's not
yeah, go ahead.
hard.
Yeah.
It's not hard. That's all I'm saying.
Uh,
To like make it interesting.
to me, what if is emblematic of the problem the MCU has had since Endgame, where you introduce the multiverse, where you can do whatever you want and experiment with new ideas and concepts, unshackled by the rigidity of a canon. But instead, they decided to streamline their formula even further and force everything to tie back into each other. Which, what F should have been an anthology where they tasked different animation studios and creative teams with imagining how a specific scenario in the MCU was different, with minimal crossover. Not saying none at all, but as little as possible to keep the ideas, pure and untainted by unnecessary baggage. Um,
Right.
and just like the MCU as a whole, they could have had their cake and ate it too by continuing the main universe, having multiverse projects that tie back into the main universe, but also having projects completely separate from everything, where creatives could, be just that, creative, try new things with the characters, and if it's good, maybe you fold it into the main universe, but you don't need to. Like,
Right. It's too safe. That's the thing. It's like if this is supposed to be like a what if, like, like hypothetical, make it crazy. Playing it safe is just like it's no wonder that it's ending because it's probably not even really that popular,
yeah,
to be
it
honest.
probably isn't because it's just not that good. It's all
Yeah.
right. And like I said,
Which
they
is
should
a
have done
shame.
different animation styles too, instead of the same one that they've been doing for the entire show.
Yeah.
But speaking of anthology series, we got a second trailer for Secret Level, which comes out pretty soon in
Ooh.
December.
Yeah.
Which for those of you who don't remember, it's a anthology show by the same creators of Love, Death, and Robots that's taking existing video game IPs and making episodes about them, and it looks good. I still think that just like the season 2 and 3 of Love, Death, and Robots, the art styles are
Mhm.
all too similar. Whereas the first season
Right.
of Love, Death, and Robots, there's so much variety in it. Whereas the seasons after that, they all get there's just too much like semi-realism, and I feel the same way about this. With
Yeah.
everything we see, all of it is too much semi-realism in it, and I don't like that. But I'm definitely the most excited for the Mega Man episode. I just want
Oh, for
a Mega
sure.
Man animated something. We need like I said before. I hope that this show could result in some of these serious getting animated projects. From their respective rights holders in
Right.
the future. Capcom make a Mega Man cartoon.
Please. A
Cap
good one this time
yeah,
because the first one
Capcom needs to make
terrible
so many different cartoons. Like we need a
for
Darkstalkers
sure.
cartoon. We need a Street
We
Fighter
do.
show. I want a live action Street Fighter show though.
That
But
would be
like
fire to me, thanks.
yeah, they're working on it. I know. Was it at first? It was gonna be directed by Raka Raka, the people. The what was the movie they made? I know they're most famous for their YouTube channel, but they made a horror movie not too long ago that people liked, which was a interesting choice. They do a lot of action in their on their YouTube channel,
Right.
but like I don't know if their style of writing fits Street Fighter. Um, and I think that they're no longer on that project, so who knows where that's going. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, Dan to Dan, episode 7 was sad as hell. Uh,
Damn.
we got the backstory of the latest spirit they were fighting, and it was predictably tragic, but tragic in an
Mhm.
unexpected way for this show, to be honest.
Mm.
The music that played during the flashback is seared into my brain. I'll never forget it. Episode 8 got back to the goofy shenanigans and romantic comedy, a little bit of a whiplash after the sad episode before it.
Yeah, I bet.
But yeah, that's great. Um, Bleach, episode 33 was the coolest Renji and Uryu have ever been in the entirety of the show. They had a fight
Ooh.
scene against each other that absolutely did not happen in the manga. So this is one of the many new canon additions to the story by Kubo himself. It isn't filler like a lot of people keep saying to try and hate on the manga because people are weird about Bleach. Um,
Mhm.
we get to see the full extent of both Renji and Uryu's power, but Renji
Ooh.
was absolutely the standout because his powers are just so visually interesting, and it was easily probably one of my favorite fight scenes from the year in anime. It was really good.
Nice.
Um, Arcane season 2.
Oh, Arcane.
Man, Aiara,
I've heard so many
you
things.
need
Not
to
necessarily
watch
like
this show so that we can have a long spoiler filled discussion about it. It's so good. So I'm not gonna spoil anything, but
okay.
I'm gonna talk about some stuff. In Act 2, Caitlin falls down the well of fascism with the help of Ambessa's manipulation of her hatred for Jinx. And as a result,
Mm.
Vi spirals into depression after her violent breakup with Caitlyn and turns to underground fighting and alcohol. Um, Meanwhile, Jinx is reluctantly becoming a symbol of rebellion among the Zonites, despite wanting to leave her life of fighting and violence behind her. And there are two other huge plot points that I can't even allude to without spoiling, so I'll save that for a later episode.
I was
Um,
gonna say I might have seen them also.
yeah,
That's also a very
I'm
real
certain you have.
possibility.
You also follow me, and I did not care about liking anything. I just liked everything because I was just
And you're so
emotions were
real
running
for that.
high.
Also,
So
I have
any of
friends
those,
that play League of Legends, so they were discussing it at length.
yeah, it's so good. I was quite literally left speechless by Act Three. I just laid on my couch staring at the ceiling for God only knows
Oh
how
wow.
long, just trying to process what I just watched. This is one of the greatest cartoons I've ever seen in my entire life. It's legitimately up there with Avatar. It's a close second.
Oh
It's a
wow.
very close second. It's my second favorite cartoon of all time. It's so good. Um, Episode 7 made me tear up. It was so beautiful, and I can't say exactly why. I just know that it focused on Echo, who's been one of my favorites from the beginning. And I was so happy that he got a
Mhm.
full episode to himself because we didn't really get a lot of him in the show. So this episode and just the third act in general gave us so much more echo than the entirety of the rest of the show combined. Um,
Mm.
and yeah, just final act was perfection. It didn't really it didn't feel rushed to me, even though I know a lot of people are saying that. I don't know.
Mm.
I know this isn't the end, so I don't feel like, oh no, we didn't get a good answer to everything, and like we'll get more answers later because they're not done. This is the end of
Right.
Arcane, but they've said that they're going to be making more animated projects in this world, um, in the world of Runeterra in general, not necessarily Piltover and Zon, but I imagine we'll
Mm.
probably make our way back to Piltover and Zon eventually.
Yeah, probably.
All the music was incredible. There are several
Ooh.
moments in the season where episodes just straight up become music videos. Usually at the beginning of every most episodes,
Oh wow.
to convey what's happening in a story. And while the music in those segments are good and fits the mood, they don't necessarily make me want to go
Mm.
and listen to them outside of the show. However,
Uh,
almost every instance of like original music, with people singing, not just the score, in
mhm.
the final act, I want to listen to, and I can't wait for them to release the soundtrack for the final act because they released it for the first two, but not the last one yet. And I need it. I need it in my
Gotcha.
life. There's some real good music in there that I need to listen to. Yeah, it's good. During the finale, I kept thinking this would make such a good game, and then I remembered it is a game, several
Don't
in
fall into the
fact,
trap.
but none of them are up my
Don't.
alley. No, I don't give a damn
I
about
was
any
gonna
of those
say, yeah.
games.
Don't.
The only one that interests me is 2XKO, and that's not coming out for God, only God knows how long. um,
Mm.
so no, I'm not playing League of Legends. Nothing about that game interests me in the slightest.
Good.
I discovered there was a side-scrolling Echo game though, randomly, because it popped up my
Oh wow.
timeline on YouTube. It doesn't look like my speed, but yeah, it's cool that it
Mm.
exists. But yeah, I need an arcane game in the vein of Cyberpunk, where
Mhm.
you can explore Piltover and Zond with like a created character, or if you have to play as a character from the games, Echo. Um, and
Makes
I
sense.
could imagine what that
See, I
game
haven't
would be
played
like.
that.
That's what I need. I need them to make a game like that, and I feel like it's only a matter of time. They got to do that eventually. But yeah, Arcane's great. You need to watch it so we can talk about it. I need to be able to just
Okay.
talk about it freely. Um, you got Thanksgiving. No, I'm joking. But
You got until Thanksgiving to figure it out. Okay. All right. You
yeah,
got
no,
me. I'll
it's
watch
good.
it.
Um, moving on to comics. Wonder Woman number 14. So people were making a big deal on Twitter a while back, a couple weeks ago, or maybe a month ago at this point, about Wonder Woman crying onto the U.S. flag, and just seeing that image, in isolation, you assume that it's just some not so subtle patriotism being displayed by the writer, but when you actually get context, it's actually because her boyfriend, who is a soldier, died. And
Oh,
flags are folded and given to the loved ones of fallen soldiers, so she was crying
right.
on the flag that she was given because her boyfriend was murdered.
Boyfriend is dead. Yeah,
There's for
that's.
sure still some hidden patriotism there, but like in context, it is nothing like what people online were trying to paint it as. Like I was
Mm,
trying to give them benefit of doubt. Like this entire storyline by Tom King has been about the inherent corruption of the U.S. government. That is literally what the entire
right.
arc is about. Right now, Wonder Woman is wanted by U.S. government. All the Amazons have been kicked out of every country in the world because one Amazon went on a murdering spree for reasons we don't know yet. And now Wonder Woman is trying to find that Amazon and solve the mystery of what's happening and fix everything. Um,
Right.
and it turns out that behind the scenes there's this evil like dictator controlling America, and that it's a very clear representation of the inherent corruption of the U.S. and Wonder Woman fighting against that. Yet for some reason, people are trying their hardest to try and say that it's the opposite. Which I want to give them the benefit of the doubt and be like, maybe I'm wrong. I want to leave that door open, but it just doesn't seem like that. It seems like you guys are just trying to be upset over nothing.
Like a bad faith. Yeah, it's a bad faith interpretation on purpose.
It's weird. Like this comic has been the opposite of what people are trying to paint it out to be. With that said, the writer worked for the CIA. He also he's such a good writer. He's such a good writer. Like he's one of those writers that's hit or miss, where it's like he either writes the worst thing ever or the best thing ever. At least maybe I'm because there's two different writers. There's Tom Taylor and Tom King, and I forget which is which in terms of which one always is hit or miss. And I think Tom King might be the hit or miss one. But when he hits, god damn it, does he hit? Wonder Woman so far is really good. Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow, I've talked about that 1,000 times. Incredible.
Right.
They're turning it into a movie. He starts filming early next year. Like, he's good at what he does. But he did work for the CIA. So I do not doubt he's done some messed up stuff in his life. And he probably deserves a lot of the hate he gets. So, I can't defend him too hard. I'll just say that I like what he's made, but I don't know nothing about him as a person. So I don't care if you hate on him. Just stop trying to pretend like this story is something that's not, because you don't like him as a person. I get where you're coming from, but like actually read the story. Form your own opinions.
Sure.
Action Commons, Action Comics, number 1070. An otherworldly horror tearing its way through Metropolis has emerged from the Phantom Zone, and something's wrong in the zone. Something terrible, and Superman must enter alone to find out what. Finally got Transformers Volume 2. Not on my birthday. It was actually on my mother's birthday, but it was basically a birthday present.
Also, happy belated, yeah?
Thanks. Oh, yeah, my birthday was November 13th. I'm trying to think of where that landed in between the episodes. Whatever. My birthday happened. I'm 24 now. It's funny because I got Arcane Season 1 on Blu-ray and 4K. So I bought it twice. Hear me out. So I'll just send you a picture of it. There's a Blu-ray and then there's the 4K. The Blu-ray is, they're both steelbooks, and the Blu-ray has a really cool art of Vi on it, and then the 4K has powder on it, which I feel like it should have been the other way around, but it looked cool. Let me find a picture real quick. Here it is. Okay. And I was like, I need both, even though I really only need the 4K. I want both. So I've been rewatching the first season.
Items, I get it.
Yeah, I've been rewatching the first season on 4K. In 4K.
Ooh, those are fire.
And it's just a good show. I've been rewatching it, and I'm like on a third act of the first season. And I'll watch that next week, and then rewatch episodes 7, 8, 9 of second season, because that's how I've been doing it. I did that when I watched the first season too. I would watch the 3 episodes that come out Saturday, and then rewatch those 3 episodes before the next 3 episodes come out. So yeah, I'm excited to rewatch the last 3 episodes of both seasons again. This is gonna be like my 5th time watching the first season. I told you I love this show. Transformers Volume 2. I got that. The Decepticons make their violent decisions about their future, bringing them face to face with Shockwave and his shocking plans that will change their war with the Autobots forever. Now Optimus Prime must rally his allies on Earth and Cybertron, but he's about to find out that not everyone believes he is the right leader to save both worlds. The art by Daniel Warren Johnson continues to be incredible, and the story so far is very tragic due to the ongoing Cybertronian war. It's a lot. This is a good book though. It's real good. I hope Transformers 1 gets that sequel, because I heard that what's the company called, Hasbro, apparently just like aren't funding movies and shows themselves anymore. It'll be up to the people who like make those movies to figure that out, because they suck. And it's like, instead of going, you know what, we messed up on the marketing, they decided, you know what, we'll just never do it again. They're so weird.
So weird.
And they have so many good properties. They got He-Man, Transformers, Power Rangers. Like, come on now.
Right. So much potential.
Last but certainly not least, Helen of Winhorn, number 6, the final issue. The story ended kind of anticlimactically, honestly. The story is being told by an old lady who witnessed Helen's life to a reporter or author that's writing about Helen's father, who was a famous fantasy novelist. But the whole point of the story is that turns out his stories aren't based on fantasy, but real life experiences. And she's
Oh
telling
wow.
she's telling stories about his daughter, who um, was taken in by her grandfather after her father offed himself, um,
Mm.
and her discovering that her grandfather leads this fantasy life as this warrior in a different like dimension. This is real good. But it ended kind of
That's
just
good.
very abruptly because I believe it was
Mm.
originally supposed to be 7 issues, but something happened along the way, and there were several delays, and
Oh.
they probably shortened it to 6 issues, which written by Tom King. It's real good.
Mm.
It's the same creative team behind Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow. Same artist, same writer, same
Oh wow.
colorist. Same. I think no, I don't think it's the same letterer, but it's a same team.
Right.
Yeah, moving on to TV and film. I sent you a trailer for Love Hurts, an
You
action
did.
comedy starring Ki-Hoo Kwan, who played Short Round in Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom, and the father in Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Yes.
Marvin is a Milwaukee realtor who receives a crimson envelope from Rose, a former partner in crime, whom he left for dead. He now finds himself thrust back into a world of ruthless hitmen and double crosses that turn his open houses into deadly war zones. Hunted by his brother, a volatile crime lord, Marvin must confront the choices that haunt him and a history he never truly buried. It looks fun. I'm glad to
It does
see
look fun.
Ki-Hoo Kwan, out here doing his thing, getting back into acting, but also, doing an action movie. He was a stunt coordinator for a while, um,
Mm.
after he stopped acting himself. So seeing him getting back into action movies as the lead is really fun.
Really fun.
Um, we got the first trailer for the final Mission Impossible movie, or at least the final one with Tom Cruise, Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning. It was
Wow.
originally called Dead Reckoning Part Two, but they changed it.
Mm.
Not as good of a trailer as the first Dead Reckoning trailer, but I am just excited for the movie. The finale of this iteration of the series. Every movie in the series, in my opinion, is a banger, and yes, that includes two. Which, despite what people say, I think is just a dumb fun movie. Mission Impossible Two is definitely probably the worst of all of them, but it's still a really good time. I don't think there's a bad movie in this franchise. And like everybody says, Ghost Protocol is the best movie, but it's not. I feel like people who say that haven't
Ooh.
seen it in a long time, and also haven't seen. Dang, I just had the name in my head. The fifth one. They haven't seen that in a long time either. Let me look it up real quick.
I was gonna say I wouldn't know. I haven't watched any of them, so which is tragic. I should probably start
Oh yeah,
watching them.
they're good. Rogue Nation. Rogue Nation is the best one. It introduces Rebecca Ferguson's character, Ilsa Faust, and she is the best thing that happened to the franchise. Rebecca Ferguson is so good in these movies. And yeah, no, Mission Impossible 5 is the best Mission Impossible in my opinion. It's my favorite. It's so good.
That's real. That's real.
So randomly in a reel of like upcoming shows that Disney released, I learned of the
Mm.
existence of an alien show called Alien Earth.
Oh.
Directed by Noah Hawley, the creator of Fargo, the series will be a prequel set 2 years before the first movie. According to IGN, Alien Earth sees a mysterious space vessel crash land on Earth with a young woman, played by Sydney Chandler, and a ragtag group of tactical soldiers making a fateful discovery that puts them face to face with the planet's greatest threat. Um,
Hmm.
this is weird. It's a weird retcon because why is the alien? If an alien landed on Earth, it would be up for everyone.
Right. Like we're cooked.
Immediately, it's over.
Just straight up.
Um, They honestly didn't show much, and it doesn't have an official release date. Just it's coming 2025. But yeah, this is strange. I'm interested to see what they do with this. This is a weird retcon.
Yeah.
Um,
Got potential though. I
yeah,
feel like.
I hope it's good. Like me, Alien. Alien Romulus was great. Which it's on Hulu and Disney Plus now. If you haven't seen it, check it
Ooh.
out. It's real good.
Nice. Nice. Nice.
Um, so I saw Red One in theaters. On my mom's birthday, we went to go see it together. And
Mm.
it was good. I liked it. When a villain kidnaps Santa Claus from the North Pole An ELF, extremely large and formidable operative, joins forces with the world's most accomplished tracker to find him and save Christmas. Starring Chris Evans and Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
Right.
And it was a good movie. Apparently, it had an unnecessarily large budget, and that's resulted in it making little to no money, which is unfortunate
I was about to
because
say, yeah.
it was a good movie. It legitimately got me in the Christmas spirit. It had a message
Oh
about
wow.
like seeing the child still inside of everyone, and having childlike wonder. And it was honestly a really,
Mhm.
really, really good message. And it was a
That's
really fun
nice.
movie. It was just a fun, action comedy movie. It was a good time. It's a good Christmas movie. It'll
Yeah.
be on digital by the time Christmas comes around. So I definitely suggest
Oh, for
checking it out.
sure.
It's a good movie. It'll be. So last but certainly not least, TV film from me, The Penguin. Have you
Mm.
been still watching it?
I haven't had the time to, but I'm planning on probably binge watching some over Thanksgiving break. So
Cool. So this show wanted to make sure that we remember that the Penguin is a villain. Because Oswald sucks. Again, not gonna spoil it for you because you're watching it. Just know you already know he
right.
sucks.
Yeah, for sure.
But I'm
He's
sure
got
you
his
I'm,
moments,
I'm sure
but
you've seen people
they're
talking about how much they hate him. Hopefully you haven't got spoiled on
yeah.
why. But like he sucks.
No. I was gonna say because it's like
Penguin sucks.
when it's weird with Oswald because it's like he's a fun character. He's fun to like watch, but when he sucks, he really, really sucks.
He's just such a liar all the time. Um,
Yeah, yeah.
I can't wait for Batman to put this man in a full body cast. Okay, we finally get a completely unsympathetic villain again. They trick you into thinking you'll
Mhm.
feel bad for him, but the moment we start to get a bunch of Sophia is when you realize that this show can
It's like
only end
this is
with
a
us hating Oz because he'll
right,
have he'll have to fuck over Sophia to get what he wants. So
right.
like, yeah, this is the type of series that shows that comic book stories and characters can fit into any genre. Um,
Hmm.
Troy Oboyo 17 said it best in his video, DC Villains That Deserve the Penguin Treatment. He
Mm.
said, based on a comic book, is not a genre. Noir is a genre, horror is a genre, heist is a genre. And all of those genres and the things that make those stories or these stories special apply to comic book characters and comic book properties. These characters can fit into any genre you want them to. And this is, textbook example of that. Penguin's really good. I can't wait for you to finish it so we
Yeah,
can talk about the just how good of a show it is and how great of a character Oswald is. It's real good.
because I'm really enjoying it. Like I haven't enjoyed like a TV show like this in a really, really long time. So like to be able to enjoy it is really nice. So I'm excited to watch more. Honestly.
Um, so it wasn't until the making of the episode that plays after the credits of the finale, and they do it with every episode, but specifically the one in the finale, that I learned that Eve, Oz's lady friend, her
Hmm.
last name is Carlo, as in Basil Carlo, which is the name of Clayface, who
Oh.
is rumored to be in the Batman 2. So either
Hmm.
she's Clayface, which
Right.
could be a thing. Again, I won't say why because once you get there, at the end of the episode, it's very, very loose as to why I think it could be a thing. Or
Right.
she's related to Clayface. So that
Hmm.
that could be interesting. Um,
Oh, yeah.
but that was a very random thing for me to just randomly like she's the actress is talking about it and it says her name and then it says below the character she plays it says Eve Carlo and I was like, huh?
Wait a minute.
That's random as hell. If you don't know, you wouldn't pick it up. But like if you know that Clayface's name is Basil Carlo, you're gonna be shocked. Um,
Right.
but yeah, I'm excited to this movie. I mean, this show is so good because it works extremely well by itself, but at the
Mm.
exact same time, it enhances the Batman, the first one, and whatever they're gonna do in the second one. Especially the stuff with the Penguin and Sophia and various other
Right.
characters. Like who knows? It'll be great. Um, Moving on to video games.
Yes. Yes.
Oh
Yes.
dang, I forgot to take as many notes as I should have. But Marvel
Hmm.
Rivals roadmap. Um, they did talk about a roadmap, but I only took notes on like the characters that are gonna come out.
Right.
So
Which is fair.
we got a reveal of Hawkeye. He looks cool.
Mm.
He's a sniper as you expect. He basically is He's like a combination of Genji and Hanzo from Overwatch, which, from my
Ooh.
understanding, was the original version of the character. Genji and Hanzo
Mhm.
were one character, and then it got split into two. Where
I believe so, yeah.
he's a sniper with a bow and arrow, but he also has a sword that he can use to do a melee attack to push people away from him, but also to deflect projectiles, which is interesting.
Ooh,
Um,
fun, fun,
yeah, he
fun.
looks really cool. His design is great. If you've seen it, he looks cool.
I believe I have, yeah. It does look fire.
Yeah, and the game launches December 6th, and they said
Ooh.
that it will launch with 33 characters. Um,
Wow.
and I believe like 28 characters have been revealed or something like that. So there's still a
Mm,
decent amount for them to reveal in terms of characters.
for sure.
And that's pretty soon. So within next week, we're gonna get a reveal of some new characters. Um, so of the characters that have been leaked, that will likely make it,
Hmm.
there are three characters who have been leaked who we saw images of. And
Hmm.
that is the Human Torch, Black Widow, and Cloak and Dagger. So, Black Widow apparently will be a sniper because she will be.
Hmm.
They're literally just gonna. They're just literally making her Black Widowmaker, which of course,
Yeah.
Widowmaker was already inspired by Black Widow. So the inspiration is just coming full
Yeah.
circle.
It comes full circle.
And she has like this like railgun sniper rifle. And Cloak and Dagger are one character, which Cloak and Dagger are two separate characters. They're just a couple. One has light powers. Dagger has light powers. Cloak has like shadow powers. And there'll be one
Oh, that's
character, and you
fun.
swap between them. And like, I think like Cloak does like some support stuff, and Dagger does damage. It's cool. Or vice versa.
Sounds like fun.
Um,
Hmm.
and that's interesting. And then Human Torch. This is Human Torch. He's gonna fly around. He's gonna shoot fire.
Right.
um,
Pretty straightforward.
And so the rest that were only data mined, we haven't seen any images of, at least I don't think so, are Ultron,
Wow.
Squirrel Girl, the rest of the Fantastic Four, so Miss Fantastic, the Invisible Woman, and the Thing,
Mm.
Wolverine, which I'm surprised he wasn't in the like beta a long time ago. Iron
Mm.
Fist, and one of my most anticipated characters, Blade. If I had to guess
Mm.
which ones are going to be like part of like final few characters that are left, that Wolverine's definitely one of them. He's definitely there's no
Right.
way Wolverine's not going to be. Well, maybe there's a way,
In a
but
Marvel game.
I have a feeling he's probably going to be in the base roster. Human Torch, because we've just seen him straight up his full 3D model.
Right.
And it's between Black Widow and Black Widow and Cloak and Dagger also because we've seen them, and the rest are
Hmm.
kind of up in the air. But yeah, I'm excited for Blade. I want to see how he'll play.
For sure. For sure.
So we got two things left. We're gonna start with Phil Spencer confirming that there's an Xbox handheld in the works, but it's still
Oh.
a ways out. So this could be a step in the right direction for Xbox because Xbox right now not in a great place, but their future's looking
Yeah.
bright because they bought all these studios for better or for worse, and they've got to make games eventually. So like once
Right.
those studios actually start making games, and if the games are good, Xbox is going to start looking good again. Things are going to be up,
Right.
and if on top of that they do what PlayStation refuses to do, which is finally release a handheld. Maybe this will finally give PlayStation a kick in the pants that they need to make a new
To-
PSP.
Right.
Because, like, we've talked about it before, PlayStation could have beat Nintendo to the punch if they wanted to.
They really could.
PlayStation did the whole you can connect your console or your portable console to the TV and dock it thing before Nintendo did, but it was with a lesser known PSP. I think it was the PSP Go. And
Mm.
like, yeah, they could have done it, but something that PlayStation loves to do is to make a mistake that's their own, but blame it on other people and just give up. Like, bring back the PSP. Like, if they make, maybe I've said this before, but like I said, they should make a PSP that is like the Switch,
Mhm.
but it's sold and advertised as something similar to the Xbox Series S, which the Xbox Series S is the all digital, smaller version of the current gen Xbox console that has a maximum of 1440p versus the 4K of the main console.
Right.
This PSP or PS Vita 2 or whatever they'll call it could be that. It could be their budget, not I guess more budget friendly version of their console that's also portable. and could
And I
be
would buy
played
it.
docked, and that would be cool. Exactly, for a lot of people who like, want to play PlayStation games and don't want to have to wait a year before they, or more than a year until they're added to PC. Will probably be willing to buy a portable version of their console to play all of those games. And it's crazy that they've not done this. They need to do this. I also think that we need to take a step back, and that the benchmark for all games should be 1440p 60 frames per second instead of 4K, because if that was the base, if that is the main goal that every game was hitting towards, we'd be able to have more games on portable consoles, and it wouldn't be as big of a deal, because we wouldn't have to be trying to make a game that's able to run on a several $1,000 PC run on a Steam Deck. We would instead be trying to make a game that can run on a much cheaper PC run on a portable console. And like,
exactly,
we've reached the apex of graphics. Like, there's not much more you can do. So like, let's take a step back. Let's just focus on 1440p 60 frames per second. That's good enough.
Mm-hmm.
That's not to say there can't also be a 4K option, but the one you should be focusing on is 1440p, because that's just good enough. And then if that were to happen, Nintendo will probably, presumably the next console will reach up to at least 1440p. It's damn sure not going to be 4K. I'll be surprised as hell if they do a 4K console. It's going to be 4K docked. It's for sure not going to be 4K handheld. If I'm being honest, 4K handheld is like, if it's not a laptop, it's stupid. Or a tablet.
Yeah.
Like something,
who needs all that?
Something bigger than a phone screen. Like I remember, like I don't have a Switch, so I very rarely touch or see a Switch. So whenever I see a Switch, I'm always surprised by how small the screen is.
Yeah.
So, and like, I understand why it's only 720p, but if we're being real, there is a noticeable difference between 720p and 1080p. You watch a video on your phone and you go from 720 to 1080, it's noticeable. So Nintendo, I swear to God, if this console isn't at least 1080p, someone is going to get punched in the face. Because that would be ridiculous. But in a perfect world, it would at the very least docked be 1440p. But anyway, I digress. Right. Xbox is making handheld. Hopefully this forces PlayStation to step their game up.
For sure.
Last but certainly not least, we're going to talk about the Game Awards.
Yes.
We're going to go through the categories, and we're going to talk about them, things we may be voting for, so on and so forth. And we're going to skip the stuff that we damn sure don't care about.
Right.
We're going to skip best esports team, because who cares? Who cares? We're going to skip best esport athlete, because again, who cares? We're going to skip best esports game. I don't even know
any of those people.
Because who cares? And we're going to skip content creator of the year. So we're going to start from most anticipated game. So something I hate about the way the Game Awards does their thing is that when you go to vote and you just go to vote without choosing category, it starts from Game of the Year. And I'm like, no, that's where I want to end.
No.
I want to end with Game of the Year. You don't start me voting on Game of the Year. That's weird. So most anticipated game, recognizing an announced game that has demonstrably illustrated potential to push the gaming medium forward. So, Jeff Keighley, friends with Hideo Kojima, good friends. Mm-hmm. Every Game Awards, he always has Kojima on stage doing something, because he loves Kojima, and he hates Konami, because Konami, fucked over Kojima.
Right.
Because of that, Metal Gear Solid Delta Snake Eater isn't on here, even though it damn sure should be. And I get it, you don't like Konami, but get over yourself, Jeff. Not Ghost of Tsushima. Ghost of Yotai is on here, but Metal Gear Solid should be on here. It should be on here. If it was on here,
it should be.
I still wouldn't pick it, because Grand Theft Auto 6 is on here. And as excited as I am, it's a remake. I want a new GTA more than I want a remake of a game I played before. So we've got Ghost of Yotai, like I said, Grand Theft Auto 6, Metroid Prime 4 Beyond, Monster Hunter Wilds, and Death Stranding 2 on the beach. You're gonna have your friend's game there, huh? No, okay, I'm joking. But I voted for Grand Theft Auto 6 because I'm so excited for that. If it still comes out next year, which I hope. I don't think it's gonna get delayed. And if it does, it'll probably get delayed to later on in the year versus to the next year. I think at the very least. I think that this game's been in development for a long time. Mm-hmm. Even if it comes out buggy, it's gonna come out. And this is this game is going to exist for a very, very long
Long
time.
time.
Like, they're saying that potentially they're going to do full-on story mode and map expansions to other parts of the country. That is
Wow.
their fictional version of the United States. So we may eventually get Los Santos again, because this game is taking place in not just Vice City, but a like large portion of Florida, which Vice City is their version of Miami.
Wow.
Is going to take place in their version of Miami, Vice City, and the surrounding area. So damn near the whole, if not like half of the state, which Florida is a big state.
Yeah,
So it's already going to be a big game, and then supposedly, because this game is going to go on forever, they're probably going to add other cities, like other cities they haven't done before, which I want them to do Baltimore at some point.
That would be fun.
That would be really fun. But they're probably going to do, I forget what they call New York, Empire City, I think. I believe so. But yeah, that'll be cool. But you were going to say something.
My vote personally is going to Ghost of Yote.
Fair enough.
Simply because I'm enjoying Tsushima so much, and I'm excited for more of.
No, I'm joking.
Yeah. No, I'll say it.
But yeah,
I'll
that's fair enough. That's fair enough.
It definitely is. Yeah.
But
yeah, good game, and I'm excited to see more of it, and also female protagonists, like more of those, please.
Yeah. Shout out to Erika Ishii. I'm so excited. I remember I saw her face, and I was like,
real?
"That is Erika Ishii." But yeah, it looks good. I'm excited for it. I hope the stealth's better. I don't. The stealth's not bad, but I've said it.
Yeah.
I've said it before. Like, the stealth isn't great. I needed to be a little.
Yeah,
bit
it could be better. It could be a lot better.
There's room to improve. So we got best adaptation, recognizing outstanding creative work that faithfully and authentically adapts a video game to another entertainment medium. So we have Tomb Raider: The Legend of Lara Croft, Like a Dragon Yakuza, which I haven't watched and I've heard is okay. Knuckles, Fallout, and the winner, Arcane, because there's no way in hell the Fallout has a good chance, but Arcane is so good. Here's the thing: I have a feeling Fallout might win because Arcane is too new, and the season only just ended, and it was like they were like Act 2 was out when they first announced the voting, so the show wasn't even over when the voting started, so that might affect things. But if I'm being honest with you, Fallout's great. It's a really good show. And even if we were to push aside the groundbreaking animation, again, no disrespect to Fallout. Fallout's good. So what I'm saying just means that Arcane's so much better, because the writing in Arcane is leaps and bounds better than Fallout. I'm sorry, Fallout. Fallout's good. It's a great written show. If you haven't seen it, you should watch it. It is really good. It's easily one of the best video game adaptations out there. But Arcane is so much better. It's not a competition, if I'm being honest. But Fallout might end up winning just because, more people have seen it. It's been out longer.
Right. And
it probably has, being live action, reached an audience that Arcane hasn't. Next we have Best Multiplayer, which I've only played one of these. And that is Call of Duty Black Ops 6. Helldivers 2, Super Mario Party Jamboree, Tekken 8, and Warhammer 40k Space Marine 2, which I haven't played that yet, but I'll get around to it eventually. I finished the first one not too long ago. I just voted for Black Ops because it's the only one I've played, even though I haven't played the multiplayer. I've only played the story. I actually forgot that I was supposed to talk about Black Ops. I'll talk about that after we go through this.
Okay. I feel like, honestly, Helldivers 2 has a really, really good shot, because of how big it got during the summertime.
And even when PlayStation almost completely ruined their momentum by making, which, if I'm being honest, I'm not even mad at the decision that they were doing. It's just that it was too late. They were trying to make it to where you need a PlayStation Plus account to play the game, which I understand why they're doing that, but it was too late. You can't start the game off with not needing a PlayStation Plus account to play it, to then adding that later on. You can't do that.
Right. It doesn't.
You either start there or you don't do it. You don't get to take it back.
Right.
And I'm sure at some point in the future they're going to do what Xbox does, where they're going to make a completely separate app and take all their games off Steam and put it on their app, which, I'm not going to blame them if they do that. It makes sense.
Right.
But of course, people prefer to play their PlayStation games, especially multiplayer games on Steam, because you don't have to pay to play it online.
Right.
But yeah, Helldiver's probably going to win. Tekken 8.
Yeah.
Tekken 8 is going to win fighting game, which we'll get there. But I don't know if it's not going to win this one. And Warhammer's great, but like, I don't know if people are necessarily seeing Warhammer as a multiplayer game, even though it is.
Yeah, I didn't
It's
even
just
know
not.
it was.
It's co-op. It has like 4-player co-op, but like, yeah,
Gotcha.
it's just people. I feel like people don't see co-op games as multiplayer games as much, even though technically it is. And Mario Party just a little bit too new. Maybe if it was out longer.
Yeah.
I also don't know if people
And it's also
love
a
it.
remake of a game, I believe. It's like a remaster. Like there's reused assets in some sense of the word. So yeah.
So yeah, Helldivers probably got this, but Black Ops 6, it could win. It's Call of Duty.
Yeah.
So now we have best sports and racing. I've not played a sports or racing game in a very long time.
Decades.
So what I did was I just voted for the one that I would be most likely to play, and that was NBA 2K. So we have NBA 2K 2025, Top Spin 2K25, which is their tennis game, WWE 2K24, EA Sports Football Club 25, and F1 24. I don't think we have many opinions on this. It's
sports games.
It's sports. Now we have a best sim and strategy, best game focused on real time or turn based simulation or strategy gameplay, irrespective of platform. We have Age of Mythology Retold, which I believe is a remake of Age of Mythology. Frostpunk 2, Kunitsugami Path of the Goddess, Mana Lords, and Unicorn Overlord. I just voted for Frostpunk because it looks the coolest to me from the trailers.
That's right.
Yeah, I don't have a dog in this race.
Yeah, me neither.
I don't really play sim games. I'll play games that have sim elements, but not like
right. But if it's the whole game, not a
fan. So best family game for the best game, appropriate for family play, irrespective of genre or platform. So we have The Plucky Squire, The Legend of Zelda: Echoes of Wisdom, Super Mario Party Jamboree, Princess Peach Showtime, which I've heard was disappointing, and the winner, Astrobot, because there's no way Astrobot isn't winning. Astrobot is incredible. Now let's see. Moving on to best fighting, we have Dragon Ball Sparking Zero, Grand Blue Fantasy Versus Rising, Marvel vs. Capcom Fighting Collection Arcade Classics, Multiversus, and Tekken 8, which Tekken 8 is likely going to win this, and I voted for Tekken 8.
Yeah, for sure. And I feel like Arcade Classics shouldn't be on there because it's like a collection or anthology. I feel like, I don't know. It feels like a weird choice to me.
There wasn't really much else for
I get why, but
if there was more games, they probably would have picked something else. But so we're gonna discuss how I feel about just the categories in general, which we talked about this last year as well, and we're gonna do it again. But so best RPG. For the best game designed with rich player character customization and progression, including massively multiplayer experiences. I have thoughts about this category as a whole. Thoughts? And it's that I don't necessarily think I think the RPG category should be split into two.
I agree.
Turn-based and action. Because it's not on this list, but there's a chance that it could have been. And that is, we could have seen like Dragon Quest HD 2D remake alongside like Elden Ring Shadow of the Erdtree, which is on here. Which those are like two very different games. I don't think all RPGs should be lumped into one category. Because RPGs can
Shadow of the Erdtree shouldn't even be on there.
So drastically different. I disagree. There should just be a DLC category.
A DLC category. That's my thing.
It should be a DLC category.
It's like, I get that it's a massive DLC, and I get
it is like
adds so much new content
to the point that is damn near a second game.
Right, but the thing is, it's not. It's a DLC.
You're right.
It should be in its own category.
And I agree.
That's not fair.
There should be a DLC category. There's no reason why this should. It's weird. There should be a DLC category. Yeah. But we have Dragon's Dogma 2, Elden Ring, Shadow of the Erdtree, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, Like a Dragon, Infinite Wealth, and Metaphor Refantasia. I, of course, voted for the game that took up like 3 months of my life. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth.
Real?
Good game, Lost some steam towards the end, but I still like it. Real good game. I'll have to get back to it eventually because I still got some side quests to do. But yeah, moving on to Best Action Adventure. Again, these next two categories. Strange. It's weird. Why is there a Best Action and a best action adventure category. Why not just call it?
Yeah.
Why not just call it best adventure? Why action adventure? So the description is for the best action adventure game combining combat with traversal and puzzle solving. No, just no. Here's what I suggest. I suggest that. So you know what? Let me just get into it. I'm gonna read a quote that I literally read last year, and it is from at Rockefeller 360 under GameSpot video game awards categories are broken. So they said,
Okay.
Awards should focus more on game elements instead of games as a whole. For example, like the already existing best sound design or best art direction. Instead of having best action genre, have best action gameplay. Instead of best RPG game, have best RPG integration, etc. That way, games don't have to be tied down and defined as a single genre, and we instead can celebrate which studios accomplished certain gameplay aspects the best. Also, best ongoing game would be better as best evolved game, celebrating which game developed the most in the past year instead of which game as a service is generically the best. I agree with that last one especially, and they said that because last year, Cyberpunk 2077 was in there. It was in that category beside like Fortnite and No Man's Sky and games like that, which Cyberpunk 2077 is just a single player game that had an expansion, but they put it in that category because it had such a significant leap in quality over the 3 years after it originally came out. So it definitely deserved to be there, but like the naming and description of the category needs to be adjusted to allow for games like that to be there.
Without seeming weird.
Yeah, because as the category currently is described, it doesn't necessarily fit. But yeah, I think that like genres they blend together way too much for us to be separating them by genre. Like the only ones that I think still should be separated are like, you know, sports and like first person shooters. But like third person action games like blend with so much different stuff like platforming and puzzle solving and all that stuff. Like Uncharted could be in this category. You know what's in this category? This category is weird as hell. The Legends of Zelda Echoes of Wisdom, Star Wars Outlaws, Silent Hill 2,
what the hell?
Prince of Persia, The Lost Crown, and Astrobot. Huh?
Like, okay.
Why is
I understand
Silent Hill,
most of them,
Star Wars Outlaw, and Astrobot in the same category? Those are three very different games.
Silent Hill, especially, because like
there's not a horror category.
There should be.
There should be a horror category. Horror games come out every year.
Right.
There should be a horror category. There should be a horror category so that games like Silent Hill 2 aren't in this category. I think there enough open world games come out for there to just straight up be an open world category, which Star Wars Outlaw should be in the open world category. There should be a platformer category because enough platformers come out every year to warrant that being a category. And action game can say what it is. The description of action games. I voted Astrobot because I think that's the only of these games that I played. But and Astrobot just deserves all the awards. But for best action game, the description very simple and it makes sense. My problem is I don't necessarily think one of these games should be. Nope, two of these games should be here. So for best game in action genre focused primarily on combat. Here's why I think it should be different. I think it should focus on games that either mix or have melee and shooting, and that shooters should be separate. Because on this list, we have Warhammer 40k mixes melee and shooting. I've played the first one. The first one is very much a mix of both. Makes sense. Stellar Blade, it's a Souls-like. Makes sense. It advertised itself like it was like a Bayonetta, Devil May Cry. It's not. It is a Souls-like. Do not be tricked. I was so sad when I played the demo, and I did not like the combat. Black Myth Wukong, Souls-like. Makes sense. It's an action game. Call of Duty Black Ops 6. No. That's a shooter. Get it out of here. Helldivers 2. No. That's a shooter. Get out of here. There should be a, not first person shooter category, but a just shooter category. Because shooters can be third person. So there should be a shooter category that's separate. So you can have Helldivers, Call of Duty, Doom, various other shooters in that category. But because I think it should be separated between shooters and character action, because character action is very different from a shooter. Character action can involve a little bit of shooting, but it's usually a mix of stuff.
It's not. Yeah.
It's usually melee focused. I voted for Helldivers because I
That's real.
the only one I played here is Black Ops 6, but I feel like Helldivers deserves it. Black Myth
Mm.
Wukong is probably gonna win it though,
Yeah, probably.
even though the devs apparently are very sexist and kind of suck. Um,
Yeah.
so best VR AR game again. You know, I don't have VR set, though I've been thinking about it.
You should get one. I
Because
have
was
one.
it
It's an
the
older one.
yeah the newest Meta Quest like 3S, which is like the slightly cheaper version of the latest one. Looks kind of it looks like it might be good, and you know,
It's
got
fun to have.
was it Batman Arkham Shadow? I kind of want to play it. Which that has been nominated alongside Metal Hellsinger VR, Metro Awakening, Asgard's Wrath 2, and Arizona Sunshine Remake. I just voted for Batman because I like Batman. I played anything.
Of course.
So best mobile game, we have Zenless Zone Zero, Wuthering Waves, Pokemon Card Game Pocket, Trading Card Game Pocket, which that just came out, but you know, it still reached, you know, it barely made it to, you know, the finish line.
Right.
AFK Journey and Balatro, which is probably going to win, and it's what I voted for. I haven't played it yet, but I've been considering downloading it.
You should listen.
I've been considering downloading it on my phone, and that's dangerous.
I will gun for Balatro all day, every day, because it is one of the best video games I think I've ever. And I will stand by that because, like, I bought it twice. I love it so much, and the fact that this small project started up, it was supposed to be like, you know, like a learning experience for the developer, and now there's merchandise, there's a mobile release. It beat out Minecraft for the top spot on the App Store. Like, this game is revolutionary.
Yeah, it's real good,
and it's so simple. It's a good game. You should play it.
But yeah, Balatro. Okay. I'll play it eventually.
Yeah, it's a good game. Definitely worth like the $10 you'd spend on it.
I like poker, and I like roguelikes. So
yeah.
So next we have best debut indie game for the, you know, best debut game created by an independent studio. We have Plucky Squire, Pacific Drive, Manalords, Balatro, and Animal Well. I voted for Animal Well because I think they deserve.
I voted for Balatro.
They deserve. I think they deserve this award.
I agree, though. Animal Well was a really, really good game. I didn't play it personally, but it looked really good. I've seen like the gameplay. It looks fun, and I like the way it looks.
Yeah. So for best independent,
if I would have played it, I probably would have.
Yeah. For best independent game, for outstanding creative and technical achievement in a game made outside the traditional publisher system, we have UFO 50, Neva, Lorelei and the Laser Eyes, Balatro, and Animal Well. And I voted Balatro for this one.
Yeah. Yeah. But this one was a hard one because UFO 50, like what it is, stands for. I was really on the fence, but Balatro won out my vote, honestly.
So for best community support, which is recognizing a game for outstanding community support, transparency and responsiveness, inclusive and social media activity, and game updates / patches, we have No Man's Sky, Helldivers 2, Fortnite, Final Fantasy 14, and Baldur's Gate 3. I voted for No Man's Sky because they just have done so much.
Yeah.
And we have best ongoing game, Destiny 2, Diablo 4, Final Fantasy 14, Fortnite, and Helldivers 2. I voted for Helldivers.
I voted for Final Fantasy 14. I don't know. I just think it's a fun game, and I like, you know, the lore of it and the way it looks. I'm fond of it. And I haven't played any of the other ones, so there's that.
So for games for Impact, well, you should play 16 and 7 Remake and Rebirth. But
I definitely will. I meant like any of the other games in the category. I've definitely played these.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So games for Impact. For a thought-provoking game with a pro social meaning or message, we have Closer the Distance, Indica, Neva. For some reason, Life is Strange Overexposure. Senua's Blade, Senua Saga, Hellblade 2, and my vote, Tales of Kenzera Zao, because I've actually played that one, and it's a good game and it deserves it.
Yeah.
I don't know why Life is Strange is here.
To the party.
Like, the first one would make sense.
Yeah, the second one, though,
I don't know about this one. But so innovation and accessibility, recognizing software and or hardware that is pushing the medium forward by adding features, technology, and content to help games be played and enjoyed by an even wider audience. we have Call of Duty Black Ops 6, Diablo 4, Dragon Age of Veilguard, Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown, Star Wars Outlaws. So, from my understanding, Ubisoft is really good about accessibility. When you're that big of a company, you got to be.
You gotta be, yeah.
So Star Wars Outlaws and Prince of Persia apparently have some really good accessibility features. I voted for Prince of Persia: Lost Crown because they have some like groundbreaking things that just make Metroidvanias easier. Like they have a lot of features that are specific to a genre that I like that makes it slightly easier to play that genre in the modern day.
Right.
Like they have an ability where you can like have an in-game screenshot of a specific part of the map so that you can revert back to it when you're like trying to find things. It's very interesting.
That's nice. That's nice.
Well, it's specifically, now that I'm thinking about it, you can take a screenshot of a part of the map and it will populate the actual map. So you can have your map be full of what the actual map looks like. It's
really nice.
Feature. I'll have to look it up again so we can talk about it more because it's crazy. So for best performance, we have Milena Juergens as from Senua, Saga's Hellblade 2 as Senua. Luke Roberts, Silent Hill 2. Harper Lee Gonzalez, Star Wars Outlaws. Hannah Tell, Life Strange Double Exposure. And my personal vote, Brianna White as Aerith in Final Fantasy VII Rebirth.
Makes sense.
Yeah. And next we have Best Audio Design, which I played through the games here. So we have Silent Hill 2. You know what? I might change my vote. Nah, my brain just clicked and realized I should change my vote. So we have Silent Hill 2, Hellblade 2, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, Black Ops 6, Astrobot. So I chose Black Ops 6 because not fighting games. First-person shooters just have incredible sound design.
Right.
But you know what also has incredible sound design? Horror games. So I'm going to change my vote to Silent Hill 2. Because horror games have incredible sound design and they've got to. It's part of the game. So next we have Best Score in Music. Stellar Blade, Silent Hill 2, Metal Fury Fantasio, Astrobot, and Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Can you guess what I picked? It's kind of cheating.
Oh my gosh, was it Stellar Blade? No, I'm kidding.
It's kind of cheating with Final Fantasy VII because it's just one of the most iconic video game soundtracks of all time. Also, I've said it before. There's too much music in Final Fantasy VII. There's so much music that it almost is a detriment to the gameplay sometimes. That one, you got to adjust those settings because the music will be so loud over dialogue. It's insane sometimes. I feel like a lot of games are really bad about mixing audio with dialogue. And like it ends up drowning stuff out. It's weird. But like Final Fantasy, I have that problem a lot. And I have to like turn the volume down on the music. But the music is so good. If I played Metaphor, maybe I'd vote for that. But I haven't. And it's going to be a very long time before I get around to it.
Real.
Best art direction for outstanding creative and or technical achievement in artistic design and animation. And I feel like this is a category of all the categories. This is the biggest one where like you don't have to have played the game to recognize this. And for me, well, let me go through them first. We have Neva, Astrobot, Black Myth Wukong, Elden Ring Shadow of Erdtree, and the one that just makes the most sense, Metaphor Fantasio. I mean, come on, it's Atlas.
That game is gorgeous.
They do it the best.
That game is so pretty.
It is great.
I only played the demo, but you know, the game's gorgeous. And like I really like from what little I've played in the demo, which is actually rather long.
I hear the demo is like real long because I mean it's portion
like 3
of a
hours,
real big game.
Yeah.
That's why I haven't even played the demo because I was just like, if I play the demo, I'm gonna have to play it all.
Right. I like Metaphor. It's a really good game.
So for best narrative, we have Silent Hill 2, Hellblade 2, Metaphor Fantasio, Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth, and Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, which of course I voted for Final Fantasy VII Rebirth.
My vote almost went to Silent Hill, but then, like I said, I played the Metaphor demo, and I'm like, yeah, this is fire.
So for best game direction, awarded for outstanding creative vision and innovation in game direction and design, we have Astrobot, Balatro, Black Myth Wukong, Elden Ring Shadow of the Erdtree, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Elden Ring is probably going to win this one.
Oh, for sure.
Oh, and Metaphor.
Yeah.
It was at the bottom. I had to scroll down. Wait, let me go back to other categories to see if I missed anything. Because sometimes you gotta scroll that
Okay.
out. No, I didn't.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
So and last but certainly not least, we have Game of the Year, recognized game that delivers the absolutely best experience across all creative and technical fields. We have Astrobot, Balatro, Black Myth Wukong, Elden Ring Shadow of the Erdtree, and Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. I voted for Rebirth.
Mhm.
Astrobot's great, but Rebirth came out this year. I'm sorry, Astrobot. It's great that Balatro got up here. It's not gonna win,
Yeah.
but
It's
the
definitely
fact
not.
that it
I
got up
voted
here is
for it
great.
anyway.
The fact that it
Yeah.
got up here is great.
And it's like my favorite thing about that is people being like, "How did Balatro get in over Stellar or anything?" And then they go, and then they're like, "I'm so sorry, I didn't know." And it's
I wasn't
hilarious
familiar
seeing
with
that
your
turn of
game.
phrase. I wasn't familiar with your game, Balatro, but I think that this, like, I know for a fact that Balatro will, especially because
When they say ball is
Elden Ring
life,
is
they mean
there.
Balatro.
Yeah, for sure. And it's like, but the fact, again, like I talked about earlier, like the fact that this little game that was supposed to be like for like 6 of the developers' friends and that was it, had such a huge impact on the industry that it's a nomination for Game of the Year despite being so small is incredible to me.
Exactly.
And that's why I
The
voted
industry
for
is
it.
changing. Indies is taking over the world, and it's going to be glorious.
For sure, for sure.
Elden Ring's probably going to win, and that sucks.
For sure.
I hope Final Fantasy
Ugh.
wins though. They need to really just sit down and radically change these categories.
Yeah.
They don't make sense anymore. They made sense for like maybe the first few years, but things are real different now than they were 10 years ago.
Right.
So
It's like, why is a DLC eligible for Game of the Year? That's I think my biggest pain point with the Game of the Year category. Like that could have gone to Metaphor. That could have gone to, I'll even give it to Stellar Blade. At this point, like that could have gone to Stellar Blade. It could have gone to Black Myth. Like, why is this DLC here? It doesn't fit.
Yeah, I had to double check. But like, yeah, 10 years ago, because this is the 10th year anniversary. Like, games are very different than they were 10 years ago. So like, you got to change the categories. I feel like after 10 years, you've got to change the categories.
Yeah, like there's no choice. You have to.
But yeah, that's it. You know.
Yeah.
I do want to talk a little bit about Black Ops 6.
Of course.
The end of the story mode is ass. It was so bad. I was like, the
damn.
story mode was so good for so long, and then the finale was just horrible. I was just like, damn, y'all really dropped the ball. Like, it got to the point, like, I got to a mission where I was like, oh, I don't want to play anymore. And then I eventually came back
Damn.
and forced myself to finish it because I was just like, I got to get this over with so I can just focus on Persona. But like, I was like, damn, this is unfortunate. I'm just gonna go play zombies.
Damn.
But yeah, it was crazy. They dropped the ball so hard. It started so strong and then it got so bad so fast. Resident Evil 7, good game. You know, I play horror games with headphones on. That game is scary. Final Fantasy 7,
Right.
Final Fantasy 7. Resident Evil 7 is the scariest Resident Evil I've played so far. The second one is a close second. Where the beginning of that game in the police station, the first time I played it was scary. I've played it so many times now that it's not that scary anymore. But
Right.
yeah, it's good. Maybe it probably would be less scary now that I've played it once. Like that's why it's horror games with me. Because after I played it the first time, it's not that scary the second time. But
yeah, that's how I am with Signalis. Like the first time I played it, I was time, but now like replaying it for the third time, it's like whatever. Don't even care.
And I got the Resident Evil 1 remake from the GameCube. You know, sitting in my what do you call it?
Your cart?
Yeah,
or
not cart.
But you say the gaming.
Is it just wish list? I think it's wish list. Yeah.
Your wish list. Yes.
Yeah, it's just sitting in there waiting for a discount. Once it's discounted, I'm gonna grab it because I want to play it. But yeah, same with Signalis. They cost the same, so I'm waiting for a discount on both of them.
Yeah, it's a good game. Definitely, I think you'll get a lot of enjoyment out of it.
Yeah. So that's all I got. If you don't have anything.
No, that's all I got. Play Balatro. I'm plugging it now. Like it for $10. That's like the cost of a sandwich.
Maybe next
for
episode.
The cost of a sandwich.
I'll be talking about Balatro.
Yeah, like it's a good game and it's fun and it's addictive and it's really easy to pick up and play. I will sing Balatro's praises forever and always.
I don't blame you. So you know, I'm Dijon. You can find my ads above me, and Aiara's ads above them. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to our channel if you want to see more storytelling content. and to click the notification bell so that you're notified when we post. Peace.
See ya.